Hello, welcome to my channel. This is Josephine, and on today's tutorials I'm going to be showing you how to make curtains with eyelets and all the do's and don'ts when you are making curtains with eyelets. Okay, so this is the one that I've already made for a client. The fabric I use is a curtain material. These are easy to come by. You can just type in, or you can check on the comments section. I have put in the link of where I buy my accessories from, my fabric and sewing accessories from. So this is the one that I've already done, a curtain with the eyelet. This is a finished one. I'll show you how it looks like with the curtain fabric, and I added a bit of kente at the edge to give it a distinctive design and finishing. So this is the one that I've already done. This is how it looks like with the eyelet in, and that's the back of it. So I've got my eyelets here. This is the eyelet that I used. These are the eyelets that I used. It's called tape curtain eyelets. This is an eyelet, and then I've got this tape curtain eyelet. These two work hand in hand. So this one goes in after you've put the material in. So this one will go on the front bit of the finished curtain, and this will go at the back. This will go at the back. So this is the finished one that I've already done. So when you are making curtains, depending on the measurement of your window, let's say your window is maybe 20 inches. In order for it to be more foldy and have more volume in it, you have to double the measurement. So 20, and you have to make it around maybe 40, because you double it by 2, or even you can even double it by 3, depending on how big your material is, or how you want your curtains to look really foldy when it's on your windows. So that's a little bit that I can say. So this is it. So you have your curtain, you've got your fabric. This is the fabric. This is the fabric, and at the edge of it, as I've shown you in the before, I added a bit of kente at the edge of it, just to give it a bit of a distinctive finishing. So this is the edge. You cut your fabric how big you want it, and then the inside, the edge, you put whatever fabric, or you can just leave it plain as whatever as you please, or how you want it. And then what you do is that with this one, I've got a lining in it, fabric lining in it. So it's really cotton, polyester, polycotton. So this is how it looks like. It's really a bit lighter than the fabric itself. You put that in order for your curtain to be heavy. So this is it. So you make sure that if your curtain, as I've said earlier, you've cut the material about 20 or 40 inches. Okay, let's say 40, because the width of your curtain, of your window, is 20, and you have to double it by 2 or by 3, depending on how voluminous you want your curtain to be. So okay, let's say the curtain, the length of the fabric that we've cut is 40 inches. Yeah. Okay. One thing you have to always remember is that you will need seam allowance, or sewing allowance, as some people may call it. So let's say, depending on how much you want it, so you can just leave about 3 inches extra. Or maybe with this one I just left about 1.5 inches at the edge. Yeah. So if you are not, whether you are lining it or you are not lining it, there should be a piece of the fabric itself to be the facing. So as you can see on here, if I turn it this way for you to see, this is the lining, and this is the piece of the fabric of the curtain. So that's the curtain fabric, and this is the inside. So I left just about 1.5 inches on here to be there, to fold onto the edge and join it on with the lining. So this is how it looks. That's the outside finish, and this is the inside, because I left just about 1.5 inches on here to be the facing. So So that's the edge of the fabric. So before you fold it up, you also have to make sure that before you put in the tape curtain eyelet, this one, you have to leave half an inch on there at the edge, half an inch on there. Yeah, let me work together with the kente because I added kente at the edge just to give it a bit of a design on there. So this is how it looks like. That's the kente I added on there, and this is the half an inch of the fabric that I will fold it in. I'll fold in like so, like that. So with this one, after sewing the kente with whichever design you want to add on the edge, with this one, this is how I made it. That's how the both end looks like. So this is it. And then you sew one edge of the kente to hold it on to the fabric you're already using for the curtain, and the other side. So this is how it looks like. And you leave the half an inch you are going to fold in to sew on the eyelet tape, the tape eyelet on there. So this is how you're going to be. It's advisable to iron them down, or if you know what you're doing, if you are competent in what you are doing, you just fold it as you go along, or you iron it in like that. So you iron the half an inch in like so, and then you put the eyelet, you put the tape curtain eyelets in like that, and then you sew it with your sewing machine like so. So at the end, the inside will be like that and the outside will be like that. Okay, so I'm just going to show you. So that's our fabric done, and our pieces there. With that, it's very tricky when it comes to the cutting of the hole that you put the eyelet in. It's very tricky, so you have to be extremely careful. You have to pay attention. You have to be meticulous about it. Other than that, you will. And after, I'll show you what has happened when I finished making these curtains. What happened, I didn't add interfacing in between the fabric and the lining. Okay, so with that, with the eyelet tape, you see we've got this little thing on here. Yeah, it is there for a purpose, because when you actually finish making the curtains, you hold this in together. When your curtain is done, you hold it together and you lock it. I'll show you. You lock it because it's got holes in it. You lock it like that, and then it will give the curtain a folding texture, like so, like that. So it will be foldy on your window and very nicely. So like that. So this is just example I'm just showing. So before you do after you finish adding or sewing down the tape eyelet, this is how it will look like. You first have to put them down to measure, and then you can use a pen or pencil or whatever you use, tape chalk or whatever, tailor's chalk or whatever you use, to mark the circle, the line, how big you are going to cut in of your material. So you first have to be very careful. You put the tape on down like so. I'm just doing it. I'll hold it up so that you can see what I'm talking about. You can see what I'm talking about. So like that. So you hold it down with pins. So this is how it looks like with the tape cutting eyelet on there, like so. So when you do that, then you measure with your pen inside, as I've said earlier. You measure how you are going to cut the hole in there. So when you measure, you will see that you've got you've got a guideline on how to cut. This is the one I've already done though. You've got a guideline. So after you've done, you know what, I think I'll use something else to demonstrate that properly. So let's say this is the fabric and this is the tape eyelet. You join it together like so, and then you put it down and you mark it down. You mark down with your pen or pencil, and then you take it out. So this is how it will give you, oh, this one is not okay. Let me do it properly so that it will be obvious. You have to make sure that you do it clearly and nicely, like so. So that then that you have the guideline of the circle from the eyelet onto your fabric. So then what you do is that you can easily just fold it like so. You fold it into two like that and like that. So you will see a quarter bit of the circle, a quarter bit of the circle like so, and then you cut it down gently, gently like so. So then you have your circle. This one doesn't look rounded enough. Let me just, it's just a guideline, so that's fine. And then you'll see that you've got it on the fabric you are going to make use as the. So then after you finish cutting it and you've got your all your holes in it, all your holes in it like that, like the one that I'm showing you here, you put your tape eyelet on there, and then you stitch it down with your sewing machine. So then you have it like that. So after you hold it, so it will be like so, and your eyelet will show on the other side. Then after you finish that, I'll just hold it down instead of sewing it. I'll just hold it down like so. Okay, so this is how it looks like. This is how it looks like. That's your outside, and the inside you've got your tape. So now I'm going to insert the eyelet itself in through the hole, the eyelet on there. So what you do is that you gently put that through like so, and then you press it down gently. You can use your fingers or whatever you have, something that has a weight in it. You can press it down with your fingers gently, like I'm doing. It's really hard to do it. So that is it. You've done it. So that's it. Then you've got it done. The eyelet has gone through. I'll just show you the other side as well. So you gently have to press it in gently with your fingertips, put it down, and then you press it harder in there. This is the second one that I've done. Okay, and remember I said from the beginning of the tutorial of the video that the curtains, depending on how big your window is, if it is, let's say 20 inches, you double it by 2 to make it 40 inches or 60, depending on how foldy you want your curtains to be. So this is a finished curtain that I've done. I've inserted all the eyelets in. This is a finished one. So with this little lock, I call it lock, plastic bit at the end, is in between all the tape curtain eyelet. So it's got some in one after that. In there's one here, there is one here. So the purpose of that is that after you've finished making your curtains and you've inserted the eyelet in there, you hold this through. See how it looks. The rubber lock thing, I call it rubber lock thing. So what is that? Is you hold this through like so, and then you lock your curtain. So you see how it looks, how beautiful it is. And then the next one on it, you do same to it. You do same to it, and then you lock it. You have to do it gently. This is the second one. I think it needs a bit more. Let me turn it. Let me do it a bit more so that, let me do it on the last one. So this is how it looks. So this is how the curtain will look. And then there's the next one as well. You put it through the hole, you know. So this is why it's advisable that if the weight of your curtain or maybe door is 20 inches, I'm just using the 20, it usually is bigger than that, depending on how wide the door is, that particular door is. This is why it is important. And when, if your door is 20 inches, you double it by 2 or by, let's say by 3, it's better. Yeah. So you have, but so when you have, before you even put your curtains on, you have it foldy. You will have a foldy 8 10 texture to it, like so, before you actually put it on your pole. Okay. So one thing that I missed out when I first did this curtain is that I did not put anything in between the fabric and the curtain eyelets. So you see, one thing I realized after I made the curtain is that the mistake that I did was I just used the fabric itself and the curtain lining and my fabric and the piece of kente that I wanted to add because my client requested it. So what happened is that when I finished putting it up, I just wanted to try it myself before I give it to the client. What I realized is that the materials were coming off from the eyelets when I started putting it up. So this is what happened. Look, this is actually what happened, because I just, this one I've already removed because it was coming off. Then I realized that in order for the material to be stable and not coming off, it's advisable to insert in between the fabric and the lining interfacing. We know that interface, one side is a plain and the other side is shiny. So when you apply it to a fabric and then you iron it, it gets stuck to the fabric, so it makes the fabric hard. It is meant to make a fabric or whatever hard, because one side, as I've said earlier, one side is shiny. When you put an iron on it, it sticks. So I'm just going to be demonstrating how it looks. So this is my kente bit. So the kente that I'm using, it could be any fabric. Yeah, maybe because of the texture of the kente, that is what made it come off. Maybe there are other fabric which wouldn't do that, which wouldn't come off after you finish making it. But it's advisable. That's one thing that I've realized. So it's advisable that you insert the interface on the little piece of kente that you inserted or you added on the edge of your curtain. Yes. So this is my kente and this is my interface. You have to put the sticky part, as most of you will know, that interface, one part is sticky, it's shiny. When you iron it, it becomes it becomes thick or joined together with whatever you added to it. So I'm just going to be showing you how it is. So that's interface, and you have to make sure that we've got different textures of the interface. We've got soft, we've got medium, and we've got hard one. It is advisable to purchase the hard one. I will put a link of where I usually buy my fabric and accessories, sewing accessories from. Yeah, so you check and then you find it. So this is the sticky part of it. I'm going to add it to the kente. Let me just get my iron. So this is it. Waiting for my iron to warm up. So I'm waiting for my iron to warm up. I've just realized that it's a little bit of changing of the sockets. my socket. It's always advisable to put this in the interface, as I've said earlier. Other than that, to prevent the area you made a hole from coming out. It frills out. I mean, that's the right word. To prevent it from frailing. That's the right word to use. Yeah. So that's I've already cut it. My interface. It's always advisable to check, assess things before you even give it out to your clients. Or even if you are using it yourself, it's advisable that you ensure that at the end you're going to have a perfectly well done product. So I've put my interface in there, and I'm going to put my iron on it to make it thicker, and then afterwards I will cut off the hole in there as well. To ensure. So that's the interface that I'm trying to put in the material, so that it stops the material from fraying. Do it gently. Just gently and rest nicely. Okay. So this is the iron that I'm just doing. So that's how it looks. So now I'm just going to cut the hole as well. Yeah. So there we go. So now we can see the interface are in there. So I'm just going to be cutting the hole in out as well before I put the tape eyelet and then insert the eyelet itself. So that's it. So now it is certain that this interface will stop the material from fraying out. So this is how it looks with my interface in nicely. Because of the sticky texture of the interface, the fabric all stays at a place and it doesn't frail. Okay, all right. Thank you for watching this video, just getting tutorials. If there are anything about this tutorial that you don't understand, you can drop me comment about it, and I will ensure to elaborate on each piece of the processes. I'm always available. Send me a comment or send me messages. Tell me what you want me to explain further, and I'll do so. I will endeavor to do so. Okay, thank you so much for watching my video. Do not forget to click on the like button and also subscribe on this channel, JDU Fashion and Designs, for more informative and educative videos based on fashion and clothing and other things, curtains, armrest, and other things. Thank you. Bye-bye. See you in my next video. Thank you. See you. Bye.